way that I would put it is in the same way that in the 20th century, a huge component of national competitiveness was industry, manufacturing, steel, coal, energy. That was a big part of your economic competitiveness as a country, your military competitiveness. In the 21st century, computing power and AI is going to be a factor like that.
The New York Stock Exchange is a proud supporter of the 2026 Aspen Ideas Festival. I'm pleased to be joined on site by Helen, Executive Director of the Center for Security and Emerging Technology at Georgetown University. Helen, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
Great to sit down with you here at the festival. What brings you to the event?
Yeah, I was here just earlier today on a panel on the AI race, so looking at kind of US-China competition on AI, which is, I would say, one of the biggest things that we get asked about at our center, working with policymakers on kind of emerging tech and security issues.
What are you seeing to be AI's effect on cybersecurity?
Yeah, there's been a long time where the leading AI companies have said, hey, our systems are getting better and better at programming, at software engineering, and we can see that they're also getting better at hacking. And we're concerned, they've been saying this for years at this point, we're concerned that at some point they're going to be really good at hacking. What we saw just a few months ago was Anthropic announcing a model called Mythos, which really goes beyond AI systems that we've had in the past, and so making this prediction come true, essentially. So it is as good as the best humans, if not better, at finding vulnerabilities, finding little holes in software, and then much better than past AI systems at exploiting those holes, so getting kind of wiggling into a system, positioning itself for a cyber operation. And so this has gone from something that was a hypothetical, a prediction being made in the AI industry, to something that the full US cybersecurity community is really activated on and trying to manage.
Interesting. Where do things go from here?
I think we're going to have to learn how to live in a world with extremely advanced AI hackers, essentially. And I think the best way to prepare is to use the most advanced AI systems we have to defend, to patch, to identify vulnerabilities and fix them in advance. And it's really going to take a huge effort to not just do that technical work of finding and patching vulnerabilities, but also rolling them out across industry. So especially some of our critical infrastructure sectors, it's actually not straightforward for them just hit update and have their software update. Maybe they need to take equipment offline, maybe they need to run tests. And so that's a place where we're going to need a lot of collaboration between government and industry and between kind of the AI companies and the broader industry to make that work.
What does the competitive landscape look like between the US and China on AI?
It's complex, I would say. People love to talk about kind of the AI race, but there's really multiple races going on. I would say at the very kind of frontier innovation competition, the US companies do have a nose ahead. Anthropic, OpenAI, Google are producing the best AI models, though there are Chinese competitors right behind them, just months behind them. There's other competitions that matter too. So economic diffusion and adoption, how much value are you getting from AI? There it can be hard to tell. The US has advantages with some of our big tech companies being widely used around the world for enterprise software, so Microsoft, Amazon, Google, that positions them well. But the Chinese government is being really strategic about how do we diffuse AI throughout China and throughout the world. And then there's competition for military and national security advantage as well, where we're starting to see the use of AI really at large scale in Iran for targeting. And also this connects back to the cybersecurity question. So I would say a lot going on, really important conversation for the future.
Why, for American competitiveness, is it crucial to lean into AI?
I mean, AI is clearly the future. It's the present as well. I think it's maybe the way that I would put it is in the same way that in the 20th century, a huge component of national competitiveness was industry, manufacturing, steel, coal, energy. That was a big part of your economic competitiveness as a country, your military competitiveness. In the 21st century, computing power and AI is going to be a factor like that because it's going to flow into so many aspects of society.
Are there prospects for shared interests?
Between the US and China? Absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's really important that we are competing vigorously with China. It's also important that we recognize that there are some shared interests. So there are kind of common threats that we both face with models like these very advanced cybersecurity models, cyber operations models. We want to be thoughtful about what do we do with the fact that maybe external groups, terrorist groups or other bad actors might have access to those models. Can we work with China on that? Even things like managing job displacement. That is a place where US and China both face really significant turbulence ahead. And are there any lessons learned or any ways that we could try and share insights or share ways of managing? I think there are plenty of shared interests.
Do you think the two countries can come together on this?
I mean, they're certainly going to try. We had an initial round of government-to-government discussion on AI in 2024 in Geneva, and are lined up to have more discussion at the official level between now and September. I think the question of can we frame up that discussion in a way that it actually has productive outputs is a very live one and something that we're actively working on.
We see AI companies start to automate their own research. What does that mean?
Yeah, this is really, it starts to get into some sci-fi territory, but I think we live, in a pretty sci-fi world these days. Some of the leading AI companies, so Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and also others, are basically looking at the AI systems they're building, and they're saying, we can use these systems to automate the process of building the next generation. And so right now, this is, it's sort of partial automation. They're using them for running certain kinds of experiments or for writing lots of code for sure, maybe making certain judgments about what is high quality or not. But really the dream inside these companies is to automate as much as possible and potentially even enter what gets called recursive self-improvement, where you have the AI making better AI, making better AI, making better AI with no humans involved. That's hopefully still a ways off, because if we get there, it's going to be pretty dramatic, but it's what they're trying to do.
An intelligence explosion, is that a fair way to describe it?
Yes, that's the idea, is if they do succeed in fully taking the humans out of the loop of the AI R&D process, maybe you have this kind of hockey stick of one AI builds an even better AI, which builds an even better AI, and you get an intelligence explosion. Whether or not that will happen is something we're actively working on. We have some research on. I think there are some unknowns of how fast could that go, but I think it's certainly possible that it could be very disruptive.
How often are you using AI in your day-to-day?
I use it, I would say, definitely multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times a day. I still find that it's worth kind of experimenting with what it can do and what it can't do, where it can help and where it can't.
Interesting. Look, Helen, we're sitting down as America turns 250 years old. America at 250, what does that mean to you?
To me personally, I'm an immigrant to this country. I grew up in Australia. I'm an Australian citizen. I'm actually going to be eligible for naturalization this September. And so to me, the idea of getting to become a citizen of this country that is really built on a dream and on a set of great ideas around freedom, equality, government of the people, by the people, for the people, I find incredibly meaningful. And so I'm excited to celebrate it.
Helen Toner, thank you so much for sitting down with us at the festival.
Thank you.
Great to have you.